From the very first moment Matt Dillon stepped onto the silver screen decades ago, audiences were spellbound by something rare, something that set him apart from the crowd. Not just the rugged charm, the quiet intensity, or that piercing gaze that seemed to carry both danger and warmth, but a quality that was almost ineffable, a magnetism that made him feel larger than life, and yet somehow deeply human. And that quality has never faded. In fact, it has only grown stronger, because what if I told you that at 61 years old, after a career lived under the brutal, unforgiving spotlight of Hollywood, a place where beauty is currency and age can be a curse, Matt Dillon appears almost untouched by time itself, as if the years had chosen to simply glance his way and keep moving, leaving him preserved in a state of timeless allure. And now, in 2025, the world is buzzing with disbelief. Thirsty fans are flooding comment sections with praise. Journalists are peppering him with questions on the red carpet, and a viral clip has ignited a frenzy of speculation, all circling around one irresistible mystery. What exactly is Matt Dillon's secret to eternal youth? How does a man of 61 look like a man 20 years younger? And tonight, we are peeling back the layers, not just of his words, but of his philosophy, his career, and his life, to uncover the truth. So stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll see Matt Dillon in a way you've never imagined before, and I promise you, you'll want to stay until the very last second, because the climax of this tale may just change the way you think about beauty, about fame, and about time itself. So picture this moment. The Toronto International Film Festival on September 10th, the red carpet glowing under a canopy of lights, cameras flashing like lightning in a storm, fans pressed against barriers, voices rising in excitement. When a single question slices through the buzz of the night, sharp and direct. Matt, everyone on social media says you have not aged a day. What's your secret? And Dillon, caught in that space between humility and curiosity, doesn't flinch, doesn't bask in the praise. Instead, he chuckles softly, shakes his head, and admits he hasn't even seen the viral clip everyone is talking about. A clip taken from his Criterion Closet interview that spiraled out of control online, racking up millions of views, with fans screaming in disbelief, typing furiously. How is this man 61 years old? And, like a fine wine, the type of praise that could make a lesser star arrogant, that could inflate an ego to dangerous proportions. But Dillon is different. He leans into honesty, shrugs his shoulders, half smiles with that familiar twinkle in his eyes, and offers something no one expected. Not the name of a miracle anti-aging cream. Not a confession about a Hollywood surgeon's hidden hand. Not a sales pitch about supplements or wellness regimens. But a quiet, almost offhand admission. I think the thing is just keep your spirit young, enjoy life. Make sure you get plenty of exercise. Words so simple, yet so disarming. Because in a world addicted to expensive beauty solutions, his answer slices like a knife through illusion, reminding us that sometimes the oldest truths are the most powerful. And this is where it gets profound, because here is a man who has walked through the chaos of celebrity, who has endured the highs of global fame and the lows of fading trends, who has seen Hollywood at its most glamorous and at its most ruthless. And yet his answer is not found in a bottle, not in a clinic, not in an operating room, but in the ageless power of attitude, spirit, and perspective. And if you're tempted to think that sounds too easy, pause and remember this. Dillon credits his mother, who was very young when she had him, for giving him the foundation of his vitality. A genetic blessing perhaps, though he jokes lightly that he can't exactly say. The same about his father. And in that moment of humor you see the man behind the myth, unpolished, witty, authentic, a star who doesn't disguise his salt and pepper hair or conceal his silver fox transformation, but instead embraces it fully, turning it into part of his allure. And fans remember in 2024, when Dillon stormed across the red carpet for his film Being Maria, his hair a storm of shimmering silver, his stubble framing a confident grin that seemed even more commanding than in his youth, the kind of look that had onlookers whispering and gasping as cameras captured a man not in decline, but in full command of his presence. And again, in 2025, when he appeared at the New 42 Gala in New York, radiating a mix of elegance and playfulness, his charisma lighting up the room in a way that no cosmetic procedure could ever manufacture. reminding us once more that some things simply can't be bought, they can only be lived. And if you think this story is about to end there, think again, because we are only scratching the surface of what keeps Matt Dillon ageless, and the real mystery is only just beginning to unfold. So if you want to know the truth that fans can't stop talking about, hit that like button right now, because the best, the most shocking revelation is still to come. Radiating a mix of elegance and playfulness that no procedure could ever manufacture, Matt Dillon stands as living proof that time itself seems hesitant to touch him. But here's where the suspense thickens, because while his public answer on the red carpet was about keeping a young spirit, smiling as he explained that it's all about enjoying life, moving your body, and not carrying the weight of unnecessary worries, the real secret may lie deeper in how Matt Dillon has navigated the treacherous waters of fame itself, a current that has swallowed countless stars before him, and yet he refuses to be consumed, repeating the mantra in his own words, "Don't get too worried about stuff all the time," which is not easy. A confession that does more than just reveal honesty. It exposes the very tension that makes his story so compelling. Because here is a man adored by fans for his seemingly ageless face admitting that the process is not effortless, not flawless, not free of doubts. And in that moment, his vulnerability might just be the missing key, because stress, worry, and obsession are the invisible thieves of youth, the corrosive forces that wear down the strongest bodies and brightest minds. But Dillon has learned the art of letting those thieves pass him by, rolling burdens off his shoulders like rain off glass. And it is here, in this philosophy of lightness and resilience, that we begin to glimpse the true fountain of youth, not bottled on a shelf, not sculpted in a surgeon's office, but carried inside, in the choice to greet life with a measure of calm, of acceptance, of refusal to let fear define him. Think about it for a moment. How many celebrities have we witnessed vanish beneath the crushing weight of vanity, their faces stretched beyond recognition, their spirits fractured by the obsession with staying forever young, and yet Dillon walks steadily, not fighting the march of years, but dancing with it, aging not backwards, but gracefully, confidently. And that, perhaps, is why admiration for him is no longer just fan service, but something mythic, as if he has slipped into a higher tier of Hollywood legend, a living reminder that beauty is not in denying time, but in carrying it with dignity. And that myth only grows when stories like Kevin Bacon's resurface. A tale from the Wild Things days of 1998 when a shower scene was supposed to take an unexpected turn, with Dillon and Bacon sharing an on-screen kiss that never made it past the script stage, and years later Bacon admits with a grin that he was disappointed it was cut, because as he put it with playful honesty, "Yeah, I definitely was attached to it. Look at him, he's gorgeous." A confession that doesn't just entertain, it amplifies Dillon's legend, showing that admiration for his allure isn't confined to anonymous fans and comment sections, but echoed by respected peers who have shared the screen with him. And suddenly the myth thickens, because this isn't just about one man's looks, but about a magnetic quality that transcends age, a charisma that seems immune to the erosion of time itself. And yet, here's the twist, the climax you've been waiting for. The turn that transforms this from a story about vanity into a meditation on the human spirit. What if Matt Dillon's so-called secret isn't about looking young at all? What if it's about redefining what youth even means in the first place? What if his timelessness comes not from resisting age, but from embracing it so completely, so authentically, that age itself becomes invisible, stripped of its power to define him? Think about it carefully. When fans cry out in disbelief, "He hasn't aged a day," perhaps what they are really witnessing is not the absence of wrinkles or the persistence of smooth skin, but the presence of something far rarer, a man who has never surrendered to bitterness, who carried his humor, curiosity, and hunger for experience across the decades like torches burning brightly against the darkness. A man who may have added years to his life on paper, but somehow kept youth in his soul. And that is why he seems immortal. Because youth is not, and has never been, measured in birthdays or numbers, but in energy, in the way we laugh, in the passion with which we live, in the courage to still see wonder in the world, and to step forward without apology. And that is what Matt Dillon embodies. A kind of timelessness that feels almost supernatural, not because it denies reality, but because it accepts it. And here is where we stand, right at the edge of this mystery, with one question echoing louder than all the rest. If Matt Dillon has found a way to remain timeless by keeping his spirit young, what does that mean for us, for you, listening right now? Could it be that the real fountain of youth isn't a guarded secret in a vault or a costly procedure reserved for the rich and famous, but something waiting inside every single one of us, waiting in the way we choose laughter over fear, waiting in the way we move our bodies with energy instead of letting them stiffen with regret, waiting in the way we let go of worry and surrender to the present moment instead of clinging to the past, waiting in the way we accept that wrinkles and silver hair are not curses, but proof that we have lived, and lived well. And if Dillon's story teaches us anything, it's that timelessness is not about freezing yourself in one version forever, but about shining in every version you become. So before you go, remember this. Matt Dillon may be 61, but the story of his life and his outlook remind us that agelessness is not about denial, but about acceptance, not about hiding, but about stepping boldly into the light. And if you crave more hidden truths, more untold secrets from the world of celebrities that will keep you hanging on until the very last word, then don't forget to subscribe right now. Drop a comment below with your own theory about Dillon's mysterious aura, and share this video with someone who needs the reminder that youth is not gone. It's waiting inside them, dormant but powerful, waiting for them to laugh again, to move again, to live again, because as Matt Dillon himself proves, the real secret is not about not aging. It's about never letting time steal your spirit, never letting fear erase your curiosity, never letting bitterness silence your joy. And with that truth resonating, I thank you for staying with me all the way to the end, because trust me, the next story is even wilder and you won't want to miss it.